Hey everybody, a bit of a strange match here, playing in the STB1, and NA West has done it again. Now, because of the low population of the West Coast server, and because I was playing it off-peak hours, and because the Matchmaker does funny things with small player counts, I got thrown into this match. Now, 7 players aside, tier 10 on Pearl River. Not really something that strikes me as fun. We have the better players, nominally speaking. Now, being in my STB and seeing that they only have one medium tank, a Batchat, and having a good idea where he's going to go, I decide I will not go with the rest of the team through the middle and the the east side of the maps, where it confines me a lot more. Even with the new paths added, it's narrow canyons and it doesn't give me the room to maneuver I like in a medium. Immediately after I tell them that I want to go this way, one of the supposedly good players, the Waffenträger E100, immediately starts shit-talking. Obviously he thought that my medium tank would be better put to use pretending to be a heavily armoured TD or a heavy tank. Now, I do drive around a bit like an idiot here because I was actually typing while driving, which is not really the best idea. But as I continue down here, nothing's lit yet. Conqueror's there, Wheezy132's there. That means that the only things I'm likely to run into are the Batchat and the 50B. Now, if I run into both, I'll just run and try and fight the Batchat on the go. If I run into only one of them, I'm almost certain to win. Certainly if I hit the Batchat cannot actually kill me. Even if he pens every shot of his clip, unless he ammo racks me, he cannot kill me. Of course, with the STB's high DPM, I can easily kill him before he reloads. So sure enough, I spot the Batchat, he has no support whatsoever, and I dive on him. His first shot goes into the ground. He pens me there. And here I know I'm going to take some hits, it's just inevitable. But I make sure my shots count. You can see I'm using auto-aim here just to keep the gun on him while I try and maneuver. He's holding his shots, interestingly enough. It looks like he's struggling with gun depression on his terrain. He runs away, but he's out. He could one-shot me if he high-rolled, but he hasn't got any shots left. I knew he would come this way. Well, at least I had a very good idea he would come this way, and I knew if I met him and he wasn't supported, he would die. In the meantime, we've managed to push through. The enemy 50B is the only one that really put up any opposition at all. They still have some tanks up, which are almost certainly going to be facing our tanks coming from the north through the center and the canyon there, which will, as long as I get there before they get exploded, give me a chance to run around behind the JPE, clean up the RD, clean up the JP if he's still alive, and maybe get some shots into the Waffenträger and the Conqueror. Now, as it happens, the JPE was so bad that my team were able to kill him before I got there, as was the case with the Waffenträger and also the Conqueror too, actually. I was thinking of going for the JPE there, but I decided I'd scoot up here and check for RD instead before it could get ready to shotgun me. Sure enough, caught him off guard. Didn't quite finish him with my first hit. Now, a bit of hesitation there nearly cost me. But thankfully he appeared to be on reload, and that's the end of him. Conqueror is the only thing left. It's actually run north towards our base. This is obviously going to be a win, and there we go. Our Waffenträger E100 takes a shot at me, obviously to prove what a brilliant player he is, and the 1390, being an impressionable young puppy who wants to impress his betters, tries to also tag me, and gets one shot in actually, which is more than the Waffenträger did. Now, I'm sure I would have actually survived if I'd gone north with them, if I'd stayed together in a group, but then the Batchat would have got in, run behind our RD, killed it, probably run in behind the tank destroyers and killed them too. And I don't see much point in letting that happen when I could intercept the Batchat before it did any of that, finish it off, and then sweep in from behind them. And this is the difference between being a dedicated medium player and being somebody who plays other shit a lot. There's just no reason to try and pretend you're a heavy tank if you can flank on somebody instead. And you need to look at team compositions and know how many mediums the enemy team have and what they can do with them. Generally, when I get a match on Mines or Himmelsdorf or something like that, what I do is dictated by how many mediums are on the enemy team and how good their mediums are. In this case, a single Batchat, not very good. He's probably going to come west. Most Batchat drivers, unless they're blood red, are not stupid enough to go through the northeastern pass. They tend not to go through the middle. I've seen it happen, but it's very rare, because usually, again, they're not dumb enough to take their very fragile tanks somewhere that close, that cagey. So they come through the west instead, where they actually have some chance of using cover and escaping if they get chased. So a single Batchat, you know where it's going to go. Almost every time on this map, you know where their bats are going to go. And the 50B, well, I mean, it could have come west, but again, it's one of those things, I would have seen it and I would have been able to get away. The Batchat could easily keep up with me, a 50B, not so much. And this comes down to being able to read the enemy team and read the map. And so I guess it goes to show that the supposed master strategists with their amazing purple stats aren't always in the right. And they love to shit on everybody else, including other purples. I've seen them do it non-stop. If you don't agree with their particular plan of how you should play the match, they're almost as bad as reds, with how much they'll argue and try and insult you. And yet, more often than not, if you have even the slightest idea what you're doing, you'll get away with whatever you planned, and their plan turns out to be pretty shitty. So, shout out to that guy. Maybe next time you should try, looking at the map and looking at the enemy team comp and not trying to boss people around when they obviously know more about what's going on than you do. I'm sure he does do plenty of damage to get stats like that. Well, obviously he's in a Waffenträger, of course he fucking does. But still, it's really impressive to come across people who are supposedly good and yet just act like bads. It's really odd, and I've noticed it especially on West. There's a lot of people on West with really good stats who really are not good at all. And I'm guessing that it's because they only play on West, and there's basically no competition on this server. The people on this server are terrible at the game. On NA East, you have a lot more decent players, so there's a lot more risk of running into somebody who actually knows what they're doing. On West, if you have a decent platoon together, you can stomp people all day without even trying. As you probably noticed from some of my videos, the shit that goes down on West is just unbelievable. It doesn't make sense. Teams will just straight up refuse to leave their spawns. And so if you have even the slightest idea of what you're doing, you can quite easily pad your stats to some kind of level that you would not get on East, simply because there's just more competition on East, and more people that know what's up. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Relatively short one compared to my others, I guess. Just showing, first of all, what happens when you have a fucked up matchmaking queue for tier 10s, and also showing that, sometimes you need to actually pay more attention to the situation you're in than whatever your big shot teammates are trying to tell you. As ever, I wish you the best of luck in the field, and I'll catch you on the next one.